have one hell of a series. And I feel like Brad Stevens is gonna have this game plan like, okay, sure, Joel can drop 50, but who else is gonna score for them? Because we're not allowing it.
Bro,
We won't
no.
allow it.
Brad Stevens he can do that all he want. What we not gonna sit up here and do is pretend that Tobias Harris is a fuck. He's not a superstar.
He cool.
He may not be worth the money he makes, but Tobias Harris can score the basketball.
He's
cool. He can get his 25 on his 25 shots. That's the type of score Tobias Harris. Hey, he do that all the time.
However you got to get it. I don't care about efficiency. Win the game. That shit is cool when it's time to talk about a contract. Oh, man, you shot 33%. We don't know. I don't care. Win the game. Kobe did that. I'm a Kobe fanatic. Kobe shot unofficially in so many games, but he won them motherfuckers, and all that matters. That's all that matters.
Tobias ain't Kobe.
You should know. CJ McCollum was terrible, but he gave y'all the shot to win the game, and I ain't heard you talk none about how bad he shot the ball that game, because it don't matter.
Because that was just that one game.
It don't matter. That one game, the season was on the line. What the fuck are you talking about? I can't even argue with you.
What do you mean? I'm just saying, like, that one game is when he actually played bad.
I have Philly. Bro, CJ McCollum, you think that's the only time CJ McCollum has shot the ball bad?
No. I'm just talking about in the bubble.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Hey, I'm saying in the bubble, he's been pretty solid.
That game specifically, we just talked about because the season was on the line. We dissected that game, D Mills, and you didn't bring up the fact that he shot bad because it didn't matter because he made the shot that mattered.
Yeah, but I'm talking about throughout the series. I don't know if I can really rely on Tobias Harris scoring when he shoots so bad.
I think collectively Boston.
How much? Can you go tell me how much Tobias averaged this season, dude?
Bro, he's got to average like 20 something.
What? All of a sudden,
20 something.
Tobias Harris can't score.
He's got to be, especially in these last couple of games. He's definitely got to be averaging around 20 some points.
Are we going to act like Tobias Harris is an 11-point scorer now?
He averages 19 on the season. In the bubble, he has averaged about 22. In the bubble, he's averaged about 22.
But Derek cannot rely on that. He all of a sudden
and that's not your primary score. That's your backup score.
All of a sudden, Tobias Harris
is your secondary
a 10-point score. And I hope that don't come back to bite me.
He's gonna average 10.
He averaged actually 10. That'd be wild as hell. But that's just how the shit works.
Back to the original idea of the whole thing. I just don't see Philly having enough depth to go.
Man, just somebody who can fucking be a threat from 3-point.
Y'all talked a little bit to each other, D Mills and P, about Tobias Harris, man. Let's bring that over to the podcast. I want to know what's going on.
I mean, it was just, I told you, I can't rely on that scoring, and he came out and he lived up to what I just said. That was pretty much all I was saying.
Tobias Harris played at Tobias Harris' game at 15, 8, and 8. That's just a solid game from Tobias Harris.
Boston.
How much? Can you go tell me how much Tobias averaged this season, Derek?
About 22. In the bubble, he's averaged about 22.
But Derek cannot rely on that.
When
you see scoring, what are you expecting Tobias Harris to do?
I need him to be, without Ben Simmons, he is pretty much like their one dude that can create his own shot and like be like a number one to Joel Embiid when Joel isn't in the game or when Joel ain't got it going.
That's not Tobias. Like, I was telling the same thing.
But we've seen him do that when he was with the Clippers. Like, he was that number one option that can get you 20 plus a night and like be like that dude that can really be your number one guy.
That's all he really was like a 19 to 20 point scorer. He wasn't like this 25-point scorer who was they had a very good team with the Clippers. See, I don't think he's their number one guy.
Gallinari is right behind him at like 18 to 19. So they were basically like complementary, secondary players at the most.
Lou Williams, Landry Shamet was on that team. I mean, no, he wasn't.
I'll give you the exact numbers. When he played for the Clippers in those 55 games, he averaged 21 points per game, 50% shooter from the field, and 43% from three. Those were the numbers.
And what can you name some of them players on that roster? It was him, Gallinari, Lou Will. They had a very balanced roster.
Shea, Gallinari, Lou Will, Tobias Harris, Avery Bradley, Patrick Beverly. Those were the top 6 players in minutes that's for them that season.
Yeah, I just wouldn't expect Tobias Harris to be this. And Sixers fans doing the same thing. We pay him this a certain amount of money. Paying a guy max money doesn't make him a max talent.
But I agree with that. But they put themselves in this position, right, by making the Tobias Harris trade and by letting Jimmy Butler walk, where they had no choice but to pay Tobias Harris.
D Mills that's who he is. you're saying you can't rely on him to score, and I just felt my thing was like he's a 18 like point scorer. Like that's a nice amount of scoring. So I can rely on that because that's about just like 15. 15 is about what he averaged on a season. Mm-hmm. I was just saying you pretending as if he's Furkan Korkmaz, who were saying, oh yeah, we're going to rely on Furkan to go out here and average some shit that they don't usually do. I don't understand it. That's just like me saying, man, I ain't gonna rely on Tatum to score this series. Why not? He's been scoring. He's showed me that.
Yeah,
I can see what average 27.
But like down the stretch, and they really needed somebody to get them a bucket. Tobias wasn't that guy.
I don't know why you'd ever thought he would be. What is he ever? He's never been that.
That's all I was saying, is that you can't rely on that scoring when you really need it.
Oh yeah, see, I wouldn't tell you that you rely on him to fucking do what Donovan Mitchell did to bring you home. Not Tobias Harris has never shown me he can do it. He's always been a complimentary piece. And that's what 76ers fans need to understand. He's always going to disappoint you. You know why? Because you paid him a certain amount of money that his value is not at. So yeah, he's always going to be underwhelming, guys. They was in my mentions like, we need more. I'm sorry, but you're probably not going to get it because he's never shown you to want more. I don't understand the theory of wanting, like, it's okay to want more from a player, but at the same time, realistically, I could never ask some shit that I've never seen you do or even show me an ability to do. Like, all of a sudden, Tobias Harris is going to be some 27-point score because Ben Simmons is out. It's just
that's like we go to the WAC and you just want me to guard their best player now or something like that. Like, I don't do that, so why? That's because he paid me $40 million on my contract. Yeah. Don't mean I'm
because this is a dangerous game to play in all seriousness. As a basketball analyst, this is some shit you should know. This is just one-on-one. He's reactionary to games. Who you are isn't determined by one game. So a guy like Tobias Harris will struggle, and then he'll say Tobias Harris is terrible, which we all know he's not terrible. And I see fans even corrected him and was like, put an asterisk like playing terrible, like correct yourself. He's not terrible. But he's going to keep running with it because he'll get a couple retweets from some Celtics fans and they'll blow smoke up his ass. And then what will happen is Tobias Harris down the line will have a 47-point game, and fans will go dig up that tweet of him saying terrible. And then D Mills will be like, I apologize. But a fan was like, D Mills, how are you saying this when you had Tobias Harris ranked above Ben Simmons? And here's Derek. And nowhere in hell I said that. No, I didn't. I ain't say that. No, we have the best fan community in America, and they have the wildest things that we don't even remember bookmark. So if here's a fan. Oh, you didn't say that? Went right to it.
This you?
And pulled it up, and I walked off set as soon as you said it. And now it's just funny because you're in a lose-lose. You can talk shit about Tobias Harris all you want, but the more you do that, the more you talk shit basically to yourself because you the same guy that had him not over just Ben, but Nikola Vucevic, who's also been hooping his ass off. So it just looks wild. It looks wild. And then
you had him over a lot. To have him in the top 30.
Wait, was this coming into this season?
That was
coming into this season. So
this is after the contract.
Actually, first of all, just think about this. The Sixers have two generational talents almost with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, but the dude they traded for, he was just better than Ben Simmons.
And that's what I was gonna tell you, Mike. Like it didn't matter when this was, but it was the season. Ben Simmons should have never been under Tobias Harris. Never.
I don't know.
Yeah. And if Tobias Harris, he has been shooting the ball bad, but he's been a lot better than the fuck Al Horford was.
Yeah.
That's what you should be trashing. And Paul George has been bad, but are you calling him terrible? Because with your ideology, Paul George is just fucking trash.
Nah, because I know what Paul George can do.
You don't know what Tobias Harris can do?
Yeah, you just had him right 30.
I do, but he's been bad for like 10 straight games.
Playoff games, or we talk about bubble?
I think it's all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, Tobias Harris. He hasn't been good.
He hasn't. But if Tobias Harris was playing above what he usually does for 10 straight games, are you then calling him elite? Right. So why is he terrible now? Is he gonna be? If he wouldn't be
when it really matters and they really needed him, he ain't doing nothing.
He had a good first half. Then the second half, he didn't do anything last night. Just nothing.
If the Portland Trailblazers could get Tobias Harris, you'd be slobbing at the mouth. He'd be an upgrade.
Similar to the Melo thing.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Trash Melo. Melo shouldn't be in the league. He is, but then you go get Melo. And now
he got a Melo shirt. He got a whole shirt for Melo. Yeah, Demons, you funny. Hey, keep doing you, though. I'm not going to tell you not to tweet something because I think it's hilarious when I see it on the timeline.
But the big surprise is already here. The Jazz at number 2.
That's what I had a problem with. I don't see them at number 2. The reason is that
y'all want me to read this?
Go ahead.
This is from Brandon Hayward, who works in the Hornets locker room.
Okay.
It's not like he's slapping people in the face, but he's hard to deal with. Doesn't accept responsibility, cries a lot, has bad tendencies, awful body language. So these things contribute to him being shipped out of the Hornets. People talk behind the scenes, and guys were sick and tired of his act.
This is after they traded him.
This is, yes.
Okay. That's my point, though.
You think they're going to say this during the season?
No, but I'm saying, like, when you trade somebody, when you let somebody go with all of it, that's the type of stuff I'm talking about. Like,
well, of course.
He was talking about examples, though.
When have you seen otherwise, though?
What do you mean? I've seen players get traded and nothing happens at all.
Right, because they weren't locker room cancers. What are we getting at here? You're saying this happened after the trade doesn't make it valid?
My opinion, and you shaking.
No. No, relax.
I am relaxed.
What I'm saying, you're saying that this happened.
You relax. You like this.
I always shake. That's all.
You're telling me to relax.
You're saying this happened after the fact makes it invalid? Is that what you're saying? What are you saying?
I've never said
break it down.
Invalid.
Break it down.
I said it's believable for them to say that after it was traded.
Right. Okay.
After he's traded, I expect that. Like for instance, if we trade a dude, he was just a locker room cancer. Because that's already out there about him. So once any team trade him for now, that's what they would throw out there, right?
No, I don't think that's true.
If that wasn't happening, why would they say that?
Right. They don't benefit. They don't benefit though.
They don't gain anything from saying that.
But yes, they do. Everything they do is for them.
But what do they benefit by saying Dwight was bad for our locker room?
Because you just signed. Because he's been bad for hasn't that been his aura?
Yes.
So why the hell would you sign him?
But if he was okay in the locker room, why'd just come out and say that? Though?
Right.
That should do enough.
There's no benefit.
If he was y'all against y'all fan, everything they do is for their fan base. If you knew he was like that, what did they expect then?
For their fan base.
What did they expect, Mike? Because y'all saying this is something that it's always been
around
right? So what did they expect when they signed him? What did they expect? Since it's happened with the Magic, happened with the damn Lakers, it happened with the Hawks. This is what y'all saying. It exists. So what did they expect? Tell me what they expected when they signed him.
Maybe him to mature.
So that was a dumbass signing, right? So to excuse us for a dumbass signing, we're going to say that he did it again.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all.
Anyway, second seed in the West, the Utah Jazz. How do y'all feel about that?
I don't agree.
No.
Why don't you agree?
He wasn't that shit was just an excuse. I don't think he was prepared to even go there.
All of this is cap. He's the biggest new era guy here. That's all he does is cap. Because number one, we've been trying to go to a fucking what, which would be a memory. What do me, you, and Terrence keep talking about trying to do?
Baseball game.
Baseball game, which is experience.
What the hell? And every time we were literally on
cut the fuck out.
How is this my fault?
I didn't say it was your fault.
We were literally planned on going one Sunday, and then all of a sudden Terrence was like, "I can't go now." He had a wedding to go to.
What was your ticket purchased?
Somebody has to purchase all the tickets.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
We all purchased one ticket.
No, they don't.
So we all gonna purchase.
No, they don't. What would be the difference, Derek? Why would
someone purchases all?
So we can all sit together.
Yeah, so
we can still do this. If one person can buy them all, I mean, we all can buy them at the same time too, right?
No, sometimes they are bulked up though.
Sometimes they are, but sometimes
how many people? Okay, are you going to this hypothetical baseball game next week against the?
That's crazy. How they got thrown on me,
bro. You gonna fucking blow me if somebody's saying it's thrown on you? I'm saying you're one of the people who didn't say nothing. You didn't follow up.
When I said multiple times, I'm down to go. TB even said,
what day did you say you wanted to go?
The last time we talked about it, before Terrence went to the
what game was we going to? Who was they fucking playing?
I don't fucking know. I just said I was going to the game.
That's what I'm saying.
How? I don't care who they're playing. I just said I'm going to the game. I said I want to get drunk.
The easy
Remember
thing.
that?
No. Let me calm down. Derek did say
he did say that. So what I'm saying is this. This is what I'm saying. When it comes down to the first talk, everybody's down. You was down, John down, Mike down. We all gonna go.
Yeah.
But after that, nobody says nothing. You You barely on a fucking game. We all talking the game.
But
You not there.
So y'all act like y'all don't have my number to contact me at all.
Bro.
Like I have to be on the game for you to talk to me.
Bro, we're in a group chat.
And yes, and I respond in the group chats when we talk about going to the damn baseball game.
Okay.
Every time y'all have talked about the baseball games in the chat, what have I said? I'm down. I'll go.
And that's all you fucking say until it's time to make some type of movement.
And nobody makes fucking movement. What do you want me to do? Be the leader of the pack and make the decision for everybody?
No, I want you to show some fucking interest besides saying I want to go and then don't do nothing else.
So if I go out here and buy a ticket and nobody go, now I have a fucking baseball ticket that nobody's going to the game.
You so emotional that you're not fucking listening to what I'm saying, bro.
Listening?
Because you're saying you wanted to go.
Yes,
bro. I'm
We
crying.
understand that you want to go, but because we don't talk to you at all besides here, and then the one time you say, "I'll go," it's like a trip when you're playing with the homies. I know you probably haven't done that because you don't talk to your homies like that.
Oh my God.
But in my group chat, if Darnie say, "Hey man, we should do something for Memorial Weekend," you know what niggas say the first time he say that? Man, I'm with it. Let's do it. Hey, we should go to Vegas. And you know what niggas do the 2 weeks later? Nobody says nothing because everybody wants to go at the start. But when it's time to actually go and make the fucking move to go, no, everybody's ghost. Nigga, we barely see you, barely talk to you unless it's here. What the fuck is you saying?
But
Nigga, we just went shopping and you thought we was going to the fucking studio. Stop
Bro,
talking to me.
It ain't nothing for me to go to a damn baseball game.
Going to the fucking studio. We want to
Wait, we still doing a podcast.
He blowing me.
How am I blowing
He blowing
you?
me. Because your ass ain't never involved in shit. You said the one time, I want to go, and that's just supposed to be
Bro.
it. And now you want, and we supposed to buy your ticket and shit.
No.
Right. So what the fuck is you saying?
So if no one even makes the move, I
Bro,
literally
we are consistently talking about it, but because you're nowhere to be found
Bro,
and
y'all
barely
act like
speaking
y'all
a fucking
cannot
chat,
contact me.
we all talking a fucking chat.
And every time we talk about the baseball game, who I involve
I
myself
will
in the
pull the
conversation.
chat up and see how many
Why
times
he
you've
do
been in
that, bro?
bitch.
I will.
Let's
look,
keep it a
we
buck.
were literally
outside
discussing
of
Ubers and
Tyler.
everything.
Outside of Tyler. KB, even when we just talked about it recently, what was the conversation me and you said? We talked about going to the game. And this, the only reason me and you are having a conversation direct is because of how you're acting. He's involved too. When me and KB just had it the other day, KB literally said, well, you know me, you and Terrence down. It's the other motherfuckers.
Bro,
It's y'all. He don't say
hey,
nothing either.
listen,
the only reason
listen.
it became me and you talking because you acting like I'm saying something foreign. He's involved too. John is involved too. Me, him,
Well,
and
it's
Terrence
too late
talk
for
about
John
it
moves
every
this week,
time.
so
Yeah.
it's John can't
bro,
go.
we literally had the conversation where we were like, me, KB, Pierre, and Terrence were the four that were for sure were going.
He was pretending to be there for sure too. He said he was gonna go. John said he was gonna
I
go
was
too.
not pretending.
That
Hey,
first time,
I'm
not saying you're
going to the
pretending,
baseball
Derek.
game. I'm going to the baseball
I'm not
game,
saying you're
bro.
pretending. You getting too emotional about some shit. It's the fact that, motherfucker, we don't hear from you at all. Everybody can say they going, but what are you doing besides saying you going to go? What moves are you a part of to solidify that we going? Saying, hey, I'm going, obviously ain't enough. There's
Because I
action.
know-
And you tell me you waiting for a motherfucker to buy everybody tickets? How the fuck you sound?
If we not even discuss,
Derek, I bought your ticket, Brody. You're sitting at 26B, Brody.
we didn't discuss where
What
we were
the
sitting
fuck?
or nothing.
We going to the game Sunday.
But
I'm gonna get the tickets.
the point is,
let me
the
let me
point
collect the
is,
bread so I can.
when
I'm gonna be there.
When people show interest, that's what gets the ball moving.
I agree with both of y'all.
If you put in the chat, we going hooping, and everybody say, I'm cool, okay, let's go. But nobody say what day or nothing, it won't happen. So the first 3 days ago, when we talk about who want to go, if only 3 people say it, then we probably not going to go. You waiting 3 days later to say, I will go, really, made us not be able to really go.
And that shit is also because I be in the damn party, so I know it's times of conversations where we talked about going to the baseball game. I'm not saying I'm jumping out my shoes, saying I'm ready to go, but if it's with the homies and it's a little event, I'll go.
That's
Keep
that,
going. Hold on.
I'll go.
That's-
And this is when Derek said, I'll go.
and what you think is good. If that's the same urgency we have to have if we want to really do what we saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that you don't want to go or it's your fault, but when niggas want to do something, it's you see the theme is every 4 days, me and KB, hey, you want to go? And as soon as it come up, we responding to each other before
The
anybody
funniest
else.
thing about all this
Hey,
is
if y'all want to go on the 18th, let's go on the 18th.
We can go on the 18th.
Let me hit Terrence
What
just
is
to
the
make sure
18th?
Terrence.
18th
Wait,
is
is that Saturday?